Labubu is really the first stepping stone to discussing all of society.
Yeah, of course.
It all started with Labubu and it will all end with Labubu. Hello, I'm back. So today I am here with a guest.
Marius from Just Marius,
Okay.
YouTube and video show.
Okay. So today I thought we would talk about Labubus, which
What's the Labubu?
I wanted you to explain what a Labubu is.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Okay, so a Labubu is a doll, basically, or like a mix between a doll and a teddy bear that looks a bit like a monster.
That's interesting because I already think that's wrong.
Okay. I
So,
mean, I've only seen one Labubu. It looked like it has this mouth that goes from ear to ear.
yes, yeah.
Like it looks like it had a run-in
Yeah.
with the Dark Knight Joker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say Labubu, it's like obviously it looks like a toy, right? But really it's more of an accessory than anything else. Like people wear it on their bag. It's like a keychain, kind of.
Right. I
Because,
mean, I was gonna say like that seems to be what people do, but it looks like a teddy bear.
yeah. Labubu, I think it got popular because a K-pop star was wearing one on her bag.
Smart. Good
And then I
marketing.
think later Rihanna had one or something. Dua Lipa had one. I don't remember. But it's been kind of brewing for a while, and now I think it's reaching the peak. It's gone totally crazy. Like the crowds for these things. It's just like a frenzy right now. And I thought it's an interesting topic.
It's a tulip kind of panic.
Yeah. So it's being sold by Pop Mart, which I think is a Hong Kong company.
Oh, okay.
And I was
They have
reading,
one here in Mart
yeah,
UK.
I was reading about them the other day, and it said that investors really doubted their ability to expand into Western markets. And now we're seeing like, well, they've accomplished that. But also I think it's interesting because they have a Pop Mart in Harajuku, and it's only tourists in there.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of them. I mean, it's also a little bit. That area is just really tourist central now.
Yeah, yeah, it didn't used to be. The area, it's like the street from Harajuku to Shibuya
Yeah.
has a lot of very touristy stores, like those kind of comic
I mean, it's
book
like multiple toy
merch.
stores.
Yeah.
With like Spider-Man and whatever.
So I thought this Labubu topic is interesting because there's the Pop Mart in the UK has decided to stop selling them. And it was kind of unclear why, but now a bunch of people are saying there was just huge fights in the queues outside. The people working in the store, they're too scared to go into work. They're having
Oh
problems
wow.
with the staff being too scared and the lack of like security and things, and the resellers like threatening the employees. If you look in Google Maps at the reviews for some of these Pop Marts, like people are getting their phones stolen in the queue. Someone's threatened at knife point.
That's just a normal day in London.
I felt really sad when I read that because it's just typical they wouldn't prioritize the employee's safety.
If you only have a certain amount of stock, right, and there's so much demand for it, right, you can just make a system. Just
Yeah,
make like
yeah,
an online raffle or whatever,
yeah,
and then only people that have the online raffle ticket can come in.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
And it's, like
Yeah, they need to
problem
just
fucking
make a
solved.
system in place. Labubu.
Yeah,
Now, I don't like it because it's not cute. It's
yeah.
just, I actually think that it not being super cute is part of why it's so popular because I think I really prefer other designs like Nomi. And I think Nomi is too feminine looking. I think that Labubu is taking off because guys also feel comfortable to put on their bag.
Maybe.
Okay, so I saw a lot of people are being like, why are grown adults, having wearing this thing? Why are grown adults buying this? I feel like that's actually one of the good sides. It's like people enjoying like something silly and cute and creative.
Yeah.
I don't really see what the problem is. And I think the good side of this is when I open TikTok and I see someone is like decorating it or painting it or whatever, or some people are like adding little gemstones on like doing different designs. It's just like a little thing, a little way of being creative. And it's obviously it's silly, but I don't really see the problem with liking something silly.
I mean, it sounds nice if people are like creative around it.
The bad side, right?
Okay, finally. That's what I was waiting for.
The worst side is this is obviously a huge trend and it's just going to die out and it's not going to be cool in a while.
And then it'll become microplastic.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like it's probably there's not going to be like, oh wow, this was grandma's Labubu, and now
Oh my god, that should be it though. This was grandma's Labubu. It's not going to be grandma's Labubu because people, instead of having children, they're having Labubus.
Yeah, that's true. It's not like a Labubu specific problem. I hate the name Labubu. Though. It just come on, anyways, it's not a problem that's only with Labubu. Like
Oh
a
yeah, it's
general
everything.
problem of like consumerism that we have right now. Like
Yeah.
it's a lot of nonsense no one really needs. I mean, it's like with those Stanley Cups, right? How many Stanley Cups does one need? 0 to 1. That's the amount of Stanley Cup anyone needs, right? And
Yeah.
so but Stanley Cup Company
Yeah.
Limited wants to sell 20. So you need to buy like these like and like obviously Labubu isn't marketed as being like this forever kind of
I mean,
item.
they're obviously the whole point is that they continuously have new sets come out, right? So I think there's like a few factors, right?
Yeah.
One thing is Labubu is the right price point, that it's
Mm.
affordable, but it's also kind of a status symbol, especially if you get a rare one because they're more valuable than.
Yeah. I've I've punched like 10 retail workers for this.
Yeah, exactly. The same thing with Labubu, that with Stanley Cup, or even like getting a drink at Starbucks, is it's like a little quest for someone to do in their day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's for fun.
Can I throw out two more of the dark sides? And you try those on.
Let me just see. Do I have any more positive sides?
And I'm just gonna throw this one out. You probably should cut that. You know?
Okay.
I think there's a lot of people who really want to always be cool and on top of everything. And it's actually really lame. And you're really lame if that's what you how you want to be. But that's how it gets sold. Okay, that's
Okay,
my
that
opinion.
was that was something.
All right.
No, I get what you mean. Like obviously a lot of people are just like they want to be part of it, right?
But not like exactly, not just like part of it, but like really their identity is the person that's in on the newest internet trend,
Yeah.
and it has been that for like a while.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I mean, I
Yeah.
almost feel disappointed that I think I don't like Labubu at all because
Mm.
it's like, oh, they're all having fun with their Labubus, and I'm just like, I can't stand how that thing looks.
I feel like a lot of people are not having fun on the internet right now. They're just like,
Yeah.
how can I continue to be on top of the internet trends? And no one's having fun with them. None of them seem fun actually.
I mean, so many people are unboxing Labubus, right? Because it's their job,
Yeah,
basically.
I mean
Like I
that's
keep
true.
seeing that, so I'm always curious when I see one of these unboxing videos. Is this just somebody who just bought one and is unboxing it? And it almost never is. It almost always is someone who's making it their job to unbox things.
Yeah, yeah. I mean
And
that because you're big, like that's how you see it, right? It's kind of like a
yeah, because they got big enough
yeah,
that then it's their niche. But
exactly.
I just think it seems kind of, it's kind of like you're working in a
It's cynical.
factory.
It's a bit cynical.
Yeah, but it's also like you're working in a
Yeah.
factory, right? Because it's like you can't even really enjoy it. You've just got to keep unboxing this stuff over and over and over. But also the way they have to act, some of the unboxers, right? They have to act super, super excited and happy. When I see it, it's kind of like this is a bit sad, right? Because it's not just someone. I don't know. It feels different when you see someone who's just like bought this thing and they like it versus someone who now has to unbox this thing because they are, it's their job to unbox
I feel
things.
like this artificiality is particularly when it's American creators, because that's just like the style there. And I
Mm.
feel like, I mean, there is artificiality in Japan too, but like, it's a bit different. But in America, it's like, wow, I got the coolest Labubu. That's the one I wanted. I wanted the Captain America Labubu. You know?
Oh
It's
my
like,
God.
oh yeah, that's so good. You bought me a Labubu. I hope it's the best one. And that like wouldn't fly in Europe.
But it's getting more normal because
Yeah. Well,
there's not enough fun things to do that are free or affordable but not
well,
involving plastic.
and the world is like evolving into like one kind of shitty monoculture. That's kind of happening, you
You
know,
think so?
a little bit, yeah.
How?
Well, because like I mean, the internet is just like this one thing, and people are getting more and
Oh,
more
I see
together,
what you
and they
mean,
all
like the
like the same
trending
fucking
topic
thing.
of the day kind of thing.
It's not just like American and not just American anymore, but it's like kind of like an very American inspired internet culture that like everyone has, like, and it's on every topic. Like you can see this with people who are way too online in Germany. They like have the same talking points as all the other people, and it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I feel, or like in England too, we just talked about this with someone, right? Like where like old people will be like, "Did you see what Tucker Carlson said about this?" And it's like, why do you know who Tucker Carlson is? Like you're English.
Yeah.
Like what's
Yeah.
going on? You know?
Yeah.
Like do you're fucking weirdo perverts in England too? Like why do you need to know these other fucking weirdos? But I'm the same, you know. I know about all of these people.
Yeah, that's true. It's kind of like a handful of people are now influencing, so
Yeah.
many across the world, even though they're talking about really America specific topics.
Yeah.
I could see what you mean.
All right.
I was thinking,
Hmm.
well, isn't this kind of just the new Beanie Babies,
Yes,
right?
it is. That's what I was thinking too.
Well, I think there's a couple aspects which make it different, right?
This is a keychain.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's true. It's one of the things. It's an accessory, right? It's about wearing it. Beanie Babies were designed for kids, right?
Mhm.
Adults start collecting them too, but it's designed for kids to play with. Labubu is really something to put in your bag to show you have a Labubu.
Okay, I feel like you kind of started the sentence very off in like a correct way, and like the end of the sentence is like, and people learn from Beanie Babies that you can then that you can market this crap to adults too, and that's what happened. That's the difference. You're right, right? Like it was
Yeah.
Beanie Babies. They were like, oh, the children will love this, and then they're like, these adults are loving this, and now like Pop Mart or whatever is like, I'm just going to get like these kind of dolls, and I'll just market them to adults, and maybe a child will like them, but I've never seen a child in a Pop Mart. Like we have them in our or like what do they call it? Toy Sapiens. Sapiens is this other
Yeah.
one. Never a child in there. Like we
Oh,
were in one toy shop once, and there was one kid in there, and it stood out like a sore thumb. You're like, what are you doing in here? Am I wrong?
yeah. Yeah, I think it's cute. I think it's also partly
Yeah,
a
that's cool.
response to like minimalism. Do you know what I mean? Minimalism might be dying out. People are adding little things to their bag, personalizing
Yeah. I mean,
bags.
it's nice, right? People can do that, and that's if you like it. I think that's not a problem. I feel like that's generally here. Like people have, you can see like older people too, like having Snoopy T-shirts or something like that, expressing like what they like, and that's kind of nice. If you don't buy, you don't feel compelled to have to buy like every new edition
Yeah,
of
I
this or
mean,
that.
to some degree, I think it's nice. And then there's people, attacking employees because they want
Yeah.
the item.
Yeah, exactly. That's like a logistics problem. Like you don't need to do that. Like for example, right? Like how Apple used to be famous for these lines every time something new came out, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't happen anymore,
Oh,
right?
interesting.
But it's not because there's fewer iPhones being sold. It's just
Yeah.
like, well, we don't want that shit anymore. Buy it online or whatever, right? Like you can
Mm.
just and PopMart could do that too. It's like, oh, we actually don't want you to murder our employees, so
Yeah, that's what I think too. I think everyone's talking about, oh, why are these adults into toys or whatever. But I'm thinking two things, right? Most of these people are resellers
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
aggressive ones. And two, this is a problem with the management. If part of the reason that this happened is because staff like are scared, staff are overwhelmed,
yeah.
there's not security. Really, this is a problem with the structure itself of
I
the
mean, it's
company.
the same with the resale. Like you probably can't like completely eliminate it. And like the thing was like the resellers are doing this because they are trying to make money, right? And like they have like reasons to do that too, right? Like so they're very annoying or whatever, right? But they're still working within the structure of the system, okay? So, but you can, for example, limit how many someone can buy. Right?
Yeah,
Of course,
yeah.
you might not want to do that because you're a company and you want to sell as many Labubus as you can. Sold out Labubu line can be good too. Can be good marketing. Can be like, oh wow, I'm missing out. I need to buy the next line,
Yeah.
etc., etc. Right? But you can still be like, well, I don't want resellers to have the option, and then you can be like, you can only
Limited.
one
Yeah.
person, you can have
I
one
mean,
Labubu or something
so
like that.
many items are like this now.
Yeah.
I think it was big in Japan before. In Japan, we have
That
so many limited edition items. It's been that way for decades,
yeah.
right? That Japan kind of has this culture of we're going to have a Japan exclusive, we're
Mm.
going to have a spring exclusive item.
Yeah.
And to some extent, it's like, okay, it makes the item special or whatever. But now it's turning into everything is like that. They make it so there's just not enough supply of everything to drive up demand more.
It's the number one marketing tactic almost now, right?
It seems to be really common now.
And I mean, we haven't even talked about the other dark side of the Labubus. I forgot
What is
about that.
that?
They're a raffle. They're like a
Oh yeah,
gotcha.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, Labubu, you don't choose which one you buy. I mean, you can if you do it secondhand, I guess. It's a surprise which one
Yeah,
you get.
you want the one Labubu, you get a set of like 5 or 6, right? Like the one you want is the one that's the most limited because everyone wants the same one. And so you get like you buy 20, I would say. You don't get the one you want. You throw each of them right in the sea.
No,
They
no, no.
become
Okay, no, no. Okay, you're
microplastics.
wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. So actually, okay, you
Yeah,
can buy a set of 6,
yeah.
and that will have one of all of them.
Okay.
Except there's a chance that one of those, instead of
Will be
being
particularly ugly.
no, will be the secret instead of the main 6.
Ah,
So you can buy all of them,
all
but it's
right.
expensive. Like
Okay, so it's slightly less bad than I was
yeah,
describing it.
yeah, but it's expensive to buy a full set of them. But the whole thing is people like to unbox, one as a surprise, right?
Here's the thing, right? Like, I guess they like it, right? But a lot of people like things that aren't good for them.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like it's not as bad, right? Like, but when I see people like getting a gotcha after gotcha after gotcha, I'm more like, this is a little bit like taking a drag off from a cigarette. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I understand you like it, but maybe you don't like it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think for me it's I can just tell that I have some tendency
Yeah.
towards addictive behaviors. And so even though it's just a silly keychain thing, when I bought this Nomi, right? I bought one. Suddenly I'm like, I want another one.
Mhm.
And I think that even so it's in a box, and then inside the box is plastic. And the plastic is like really crunchy and loud. And I was just thinking, they're definitely doing that on purpose. So you get this association and you get a really tactile sound when you open the plastic.
Mhm.
Because even when you watch videos of someone unboxing it, it's like gambling mechanics, right? Like when you go into a casino, everything is designed to make it as easy to gamble as possible.
Just like to hijack your lower brain functions, to be
Yeah.
like, ooh, I like the sound. Woo, woo, new sound.
Yeah.
And
I could just tell it's working on me when I
yeah,
when
yeah,
I see one of these videos. I just hear like the plasticky sound. A lot of the overconsumption talk.
yeah.
I see a lot of people being like, the world is ending. Who cares? Well, I think that's kind of the feeling some people have, where it's like everything is going really
And
bad,
it is kind
but
of
I
this,
can get a Labubu.
I guess. I mean, I feel like it's kind of the zeitgeist where we're like, I feel like for like 4 years, right? Like Greta Thunberg or whatever was like talked about all the time, and it's like we were all like told like, oh, this global warming thing's really bad. We're all gonna die if we don't do something about it, right? Since last year, all of them stopped. So like they're not doing anything anymore. They're not talking about it anymore. Everyone else was there for them saying this, and they're just like, "Oh, okay. I guess we're just going down with the ship now. We just decided to
Yeah.
not fucking do anything."
Yeah, it is weird. We had just decided, okay, we're not even going to talk about that anymore.
Yeah,
That's just happening. Like
yeah.
global
Like
warming has
Black
been decided.
BlackRock was like, "Oh, green investments is going to be the most important thing," and it's like, "Oh no, actually now it is weapons manufacturing, which is one of the worst things for climate change, and
Mm.
we are all going to be fucked." But some people will do better than others in the fucked world.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, so I'm like, I'm 20 now. I'm going to definitely live through the water wars. Like maybe I'll just buy a Labubu. So it's a bit black pill, but I mean, I think we're in a black pill world.
The
It's
thing the thing for me is I think it's kind of silly when people are attacking people for buying this thing, right? Because it's just a small thing
yeah,
that do we have to sow more division, right? Like does
yeah, it's
everything
irrelevant.
have to
Yeah,
be a huge fight? I'm
exactly.
tired. I'm tired of arguing about this is stupid, this is bad, you shouldn't be doing this. You know what I mean? It's over every tiny little thing.
I think we're also like personalizing everything too much. It's like I just think like, who gives a shit? You buy a Labubu, you don't buy a Labubu. Who gives? It does not matter for you as a person, right? Like it's interesting on a systemic level.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the thing. Like you're talking about why does this happen? Who does this happen? Not like who's bad or good for doing this.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
that's my kind of approach. I'm just like, why is this happening?
like you don't go on Twitter and be like, oh, you bought the wrong Labubu. that's actually a really bad Labubu or something like
Oh my God,
funny.
can you imagine if this was like 2015?
Yeah,
It'd be
yeah,
like,
yeah.
here's why Labubu is like a sign of, I don't
Yeah.
know. Here's why Labubu is anti-feminine. I miss woke. I
Yeah,
miss
yeah,
woke and I miss
exactly.
body positivity and I miss all those ideas which were super
Yeah.
corporate, but it was better than nothing. It was better than,
Like people believed in something and
yeah,
positively,
yeah,
right? Like now it like I believe in something and it's to make things work.
yeah,
Well, I mean all of these things were like kind of hijacked by corporations to like market or to be like, oh, whitewash
yeah, their
their
image.
practices, yeah.
But now I open TikTok and it's like a woman saying like skinny is the outfit. It's like, okay, this is bad.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't think that. That doesn't
Yeah,
help yourself and society.
yeah,
I mean, that is what a lot of like the leftist sociological, like at least popular science people do, right? Like they take like a movie or a TV show or like some sort of trend, and they're like, and this is how, and then from there like
yeah, yeah,
extrapolate to society. Like Zizek does that all the fucking time, right? Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, Labubu exists in society, and
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
obviously it's part of our
You can do
human
it.
narrative. Scalpers are making, so this is a review for on Google Maps for Labubu,
Yeah.
that what that for Pop Mart. This store used to be fun. Now scalpers are making it dangerous, threatening to kill people. Someone was mugged while queuing, phones stolen at knife point. It's unsafe to visit Pop Mart Oxford Street these days. Security needs to ban scalpers.
I would assume that scalpers were not who stole someone's phone.
I don't know.
Maybe they were.
Yeah, who knows?
Maybe a lot of criminal energy all around, but feels like you're kind of like I don't know. I feel like these are kind of different professions. You know, scalping and daylight
Daylight robbery.
robbery. I don't know.
Well, when you see the opportunity to switch careers.
Yeah, I mean, like here's okay. So I'm gonna just trying to throw this out. Yeah. So this person, the scalper, right? He needed a labubu to feed his children, right?
Yeah.
But no one wanted to give him a labubu.
So
So
he
he
just
starts.
like, I gotta steal a phone.
Yeah. You know what anarchists always say, right?
What?
If you see someone steal a labubu, you didn't see someone steal a labubu.
I feel like that is almost everything that I have to say on this topic. We have the gambling aspect. I mean, a lot. This is kind of everywhere now, like gacha games and so on.
And sports betting
Sports betting
also.
going through the roof. Then we've got the Labubu stabbings, superiority of Nomi. That's another topic. Nomi is much cuter.
Labubu.
We've been discussing this for so long that I genuinely, I hate the word Labubu now. I've said it
hated it
too
before.
much. It's lost all meaning. It's very irritating to hear now.
Agreed.
Goodbye, new video soon.
Bye.